I Against I is a song by a Washington, D.C. band called the Bad Brains. If you don't know about them, you're a defective human being. Basically, that's what I have to say about that. They're my favorite band of all time, and their frontman, HR, at the height of his powers, was the greatest living frontman on the face of the planet, period. I saw them in the 80s, and it was like a religious experience. There's no one else like that. Seeing Bad Brains in the 80s, the best show I ever went to, the first band was Leeway from New York City. The second band was Corrosion of Conformity from Raleigh, North Carolina. The headlining band was the Bad Brains from Washington, D.C. in Virginia Beach at a club called The Jetty. And my life has never been the same. It's the best show I've ever been to. Never seen anything to top it in my life. So for me, it was absolutely imperative that we cover a Bad Brains song. That song in particular, we started talking about covering that song 18 or 19 years ago, maybe. We used to go camping. The band would take camping trips every now and then, where we'd go up to this part of the mountains in Virginia and basically drink a lot and go four-wheeling. And we were on a camping trip, and I remember Mark and I were in this Jeep rooting through the mountains and listening to that album, I Against I, and that song was playing, and I was singing along with it. And Mark was like, "Oh, you can sing that. We should cover that one day." And that's been sitting back here for almost 2 decades. So finally we got to do it. It's really awesome for me to cover the Bad Brains. I have a relationship with those guys. I've done 3 shows with them because HR had brain surgery a while back, and he's not really, doesn't really do the super fast punk rock stuff like off their first album anymore. He'll do like the mid-tempo stuff and the reggae stuff, and they asked me to help him out with the fast stuff. So I've done Riot Fest in Chicago, a really cool art opening in Brooklyn, and a Growlers Fest out in the water in LA. Every time it's just been overwhelming for me to be singing with my favorite band. So it's important for me to cover this song, and to give a performance that, has HR's vibe at times to show respect to him, but also some of it bring it back into my wheelhouse, It's different than the way I do it if I'm singing with the Bad Brains live. I threw enough flavor on that so people could know, oh, he can do that. Like if I watch old footage of HR, I will think in the abstract, I'm like, oh, I gotta step my shit up, But, because it's like someone plugged him into a wall socket or something. He's like, it's intense. I don't think I'll ever learn to do a standing backflip, though. I mean, the dude they'd be playing at the movies or something, and he'd just stand still and then bloop, do a backflip, land on the beat. It's intense.